Alrighty, what is quacking, everybody? Today I'm here to hit you with another build guide. The Super Chumpus Wumpus gun, N-Zap 89. Very fun in Splatoon 2, as it had missiles and autobomb in 2. Very fun. And in 3, it has autobomb again. And Super Chump, which is a new special that they added, which shoots a bunch of little balloons all around the map, and they're super cool and cute and fun and great and stuff like that. So without further ado, I'm gonna hit you with some builds because this gun is pretty fun to use. So for the first build, the nice bread and butter here is LDE. And I chose to start off with Special Charge Up. You can run this with Ninja Squid as well. We'll be covering that in a second. However, this is something nice, you know, using Super Chumps to apply pressure to the map. And when they apply pressure to the map, it forces your enemy to focus on them because people like to meme on Super Chumps. And honestly, I think a lot of people think that Super Chumps are a bad super. They're not a top tier super by any means, but definitely if you underestimate them, you can die to them if you're not paying attention. I've died to them a couple times because I'm like, oh, Super Chumps, whatever, and then you swim by. And it's like, oh, you're dead because you weren't paying attention. So Super Chumps definitely apply a lot of map pressure. And that's what you're kind of doing with this weapon. You're just going to be kind of more like a midline support. And you can go Slayer with this weapon. It has very versatile options between just upright killing people and then just more focusing on objective and throwing out Super Chumps to apply map pressure. So overall, great weapon. So I opted for the special charge on the shirt and stealth jump as well for jumping in. And this is what you're going to get if you're going to run this amount of special charge. I think this is very good for special charge, honestly, in my opinion. The 1.2 is great. You could do 1.1 as well, but I like the 1.2 because this is a lightweight weapon after all, so you're going to be zooming, so you don't really need like another thing of swim speed. You can switch out some of the subs as well, and I'll cover some other subs that you could swap into as well. But this is like a nice overall if you just want to use Super Chumps to apply map pressure and really just lay into them as well. This is an overall great build. And for the next one, I just mentioned Ninja Squid. You can opt out of the special charge on the shirt and just Ninja Squid swim speed, and then for stealth jump with a bunch of special charge up. You're not reaching the same numbers that you were reaching with the previous build. However, this is more offensive-ish build with Ninja Squid sharking, getting in there, trying to really kill them, and it's a lightweight weapon, so Ninja Squid works perfectly on this weapon, taking just that little bit of hit to swim speed, but overall it's not a huge deal as you're just going to be going in and out killing them. And when you get your Super Chumps, you can apply map pressure. And with this build, you can probably shark around your Super Chumps, so as the enemy's focused on popping them, you can definitely get some picks if they're not paying attention to where you're at, especially with Ninja Squid. So I think this is also very good to use and something that you can consider doing when approaching the enemy is swimming around in your Super Chumps if you have some of the area painted and can get in there. Another thing you can do with that build that I just showed is you can swap out stealth jump as well if you're not jumping in as much or you don't really feel like using stealth jump. You can swap it out for swim speed, or you can swap it out with just a pure of special charge up to really boost that Super Chump Ninja Squid combo that I just mentioned, just being able to use the Super Chumps to apply the map pressure. And it's really good. You could just swap out swim speed if you want to move faster, or the special charge as well. And if you do opt to run the pure, it's 3 more points off the charging of your super. So you got that going for you as well. And if obviously you add the main of swim speed, replacing stealth jump, you're just going to go back up to basic normal levels of swimming around like Ninja Squid doesn't even exist. If also you feel like you don't want to run stealth jump as well, you can run these 2 builds as well, swapping off stealth jump with object shredder as well, and then you can vary because it's a lightweight weapon. So if you want to add special saver, you can add special saver to this as well. I would recommend the special saver more so because obviously you're going to be more frontlining in the front, aggro, you know. If there's a more aggressive Slayer weapon on your team, you're going to be supporting them as well. So unless you want to be super speedy, you can just have all of those swim speeds, or you can swap them out if you want some ink recovery as well. But also, special saver does help tremendously if you're running special charge up, so that way you can have the constant Super Chump pressure aiding your team for an objective, especially in zones. That would be very useful as well. Obviously, you're going to be running Object Shredder for, depending on what your enemy comp is, you know, Crab, they got a Wave Break or something like that. If you're on even Rainmaker as well, it helps pop the Rainmaker shield. So overall, this is an alternative to running Stealth Jump, and it's definitely something that you want to think about when you're going up against an enemy team comp. Obviously, in solo queue, you're not going to know what your enemy team comp is, so you're not going to know if Object Shredder is going to be relevant or not in the match. But if you're playing in a comp setting and you're constantly dealing with the same people who have their mains, who are using certain weapons that you can utilize Object Shredder on, then this is a very good build to switch off to for situations when you're playing against people. Now, if you want to be annoying and you want to throw chickens, you like some exploding chimkins, some nice chickens, this is the build for it right here. You're going to be just absolutely throwing chickens everywhere. You got ink recovery. You only really need 2, so you can just constantly get your ink up. Your ink tank is going to go down to 43, and this is without LDE active, by the way. So without LDE active, this is the stats that you're getting, so you're just going to be kind of throwing chickens early game. Not that quickly, but when you activate LDE on this, you go down to 38% for ink tank consumption for your sub, and then your ink recovery also goes up tremendously to basically 2 seconds in squid form, 2.2 seconds compared to the 2.8 seconds. So just overall, you're spamming chickens. There's chickens everywhere. You are just throwing chickens. They're going to annoy the crap out of the enemy, and this also helps with enemies who are sharking. You know, if you're going against ninja squids, this is very useful. Again, this is like, if you're going to be more passive, I would say use this build for sure. If you're going to be a little bit more of a passive player and focus on the objective more, like let's say zones, and you just want to throw chickens, or you're playing tower, and you just want to like sit near the tower and just keep throwing chickens to get an idea of where people are going. And also, this does help because you can throw chickens to the Rainmaker shield. This does help for Rainmaker, as you'll help get pop with double chickens. And especially in Rainmaker, when you're trying to pop the shield, and if you're just running this, you can throw out the chickens quicker than if you're going up against someone with the suction bomb, because that takes a little bit longer for them to get their ink back to throw another suction bomb at the Rainmaker shield. Alright, next we have this nice run speed build, because this weapon is very good on the ground when you're not jumping around, and run speed helps with when you're walking around and your shot speed while like shooting, while running while shooting on the ground, and you know, obviously helps you a little bit more mobile. Again, swim speed isn't much of an issue on this weapon because it is a lightweight weapon, so any increase in swim speed just makes the weapon speedier while you're swimming, and then the run speed also helps. I think this is a very solid build overall because you're going to be having your super chumps as well with special charge, and you got nice run speed so you can outstrafe your opponent with the extra run speed while shooting. And this is the special charge 167 as well, from the Ninja Squid Stealth Jump previous build. And obviously, like I said earlier, you can swap out Stealth Jump with Object Shredder, or if you want more swim speed, another special charge, whatever your heart desires for that one, within reason, of course. Not, you know, I don't think we're out here running quick super jump main, but hey, if you want to run a main of quick super jump, that's all you. But I think this is very solid overall, and this gun is more of a grounded gun game, and I'm going to get into that right now about how you should kind of use this weapon. This weapon is not a weapon you want to be jumping and shooting with, which is something I'm not capable of. I'm a little bunny when I play this game, hopping around, and I will show why you don't want to be a bunny hopping around shooting this weapon. So this weapon, when jumping, has a spread of 12 degrees base while jumping with no intensify action. And that is absolutely abysmal, especially when you compare it to something like the L3D, which its base is 6 degrees. And L3D, when jump shotting, is terrible. So you can only imagine how the jump shot spread for this is at 12 degrees base. With 2 subs of intensify action, it reduces it to 9, which is still higher than the base of L3D. I would say if you find yourself jumping a little bit, but you're still focused, you have a solid ground game, but you still might want to run some intensify action, then by all means run some intensify action. I think it can definitely help this weapon, but the shot spread is so abysmal. Like that's the only way to put it. It's abysmal. That's why you want to stay grounded. And this is with a main. No subs, just a main brings it down to 8.34. If you want to bring it down to at least the base of the L3D, you have to run an entire set of intensify action just to get it down to 6 degrees. Similar to an L3D. That is terrible. So definitely stay grounded. Run speed definitely helps with the staying grounded movement. You should not be jumping. There's very few weapons in this game that you should be jumping while shooting. Sometimes it does help, but other times it's not that good. It's really terrible, like a majority of the time if you're jumping around shooting. So be very cautious of that. You can run some subs of intensify action. It does help. It'll probably help in some skirmishes if your RNG is very good. But overall, jumping with this weapon, not good. Do not recommend. This is something I thought I might just mention just in case. So the top one is a couple subs of special power-up. It's 3 subs of special power-up for the top one, and then the bottom one is a main of special power-up. And so basically this is just increase the blast and paint of your chumps. This probably would be useful to throw off your opponents, I guess, and also this would allow your chumps to paint more if you're just using the chumps to paint more. So the only thing I can really think of currently with this is if you're playing zones and you get a wipe on them and you just throw your chumps out on the zone to cover the zone, and you have special power up to boost the paint and damage distance of your chumps, so that way it covers the zone easier. So overall, I think that's probably where this would be useful, but I don't think special power up is very good on this weapon. However, there is some experimentation that you could use for situations like zones. Alright, and that's going to be it for the builds. On the orange Zap, I'm putting up some of the builds that I put in the video up on screen right now so you can look at them, getting a general idea of what you want. Again, if you want to swap out some of these for intensify action to help with that jump shot spread, you can. Also, intensify action just helps squid surge in general, not the weapon itself. So if you value squid surging, that's also useful as well. So I hope this helps give you a general idea. It's a very solid weapon, has a nice kit, has some very good build options. You know, you can do a little trolling with chicken spam. You know, obviously there's some mix-ups you can do when you're in a set against people, or if you're just in a PB and that one person just won't let go of crab, so you got to put on that object shredder. These are the builds for you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be posting another one very soon. I'll see you in the next one.